USC found a way to win a Big Ten game on the road. Final score in Lincoln, USC 21, Nebraska 17. If you were watching this game, there wasn't like a ton of offensive juice necessarily. Like you were probably saying, oh, Jaden Maiava, oh, Dylan Raiola, we could maybe see some points here. Maybe we see a little bit of a quarterback duel. That was not the case. Unfortunately for Nebraska, Dylan Raiola did not finish this game. I think that was a pretty big part of why Nebraska wasn't able to move the football in the second half. Is what it is. We'll break down both sides of this. As always, this reaction presented by BetMGM. If you're a USC fan, you're saying, hey, here we go now. Only 2 losses, college football playoff. Let's go get it. More power to you. If you're a Nebraska fan saying, okay, can we get up off the mat here? No pun intended with the Matt Rule side of things. Can we get going to finish the season strong and be a 9-win football team, carry momentum in to 2026? We'll talk about both sides of this, but make sure you're subscribed college football year-round. So USC, it's not a finished product. It's not. Now, the college football playoff hopes are still intact, but yesterday doesn't inspire a ton of confidence for being a college football playoff team this season. Okay, now that sounds like I'm being a downer. I'm not. Just roll with me here. Not a finished product, but you saw USC do things that good Big Ten teams do. Like yesterday, cold weather game, you won the rushing battle. Now, you didn't stop the run particularly well against Nebraska. They ran for a $188, but still, you had more yards on the ground. Big King Miller. As a team, ran for over 200 yards. Other part of this, too, the way you ran the football. If you watch USC on the offensive line, it wasn't a ton of, like, inside zone and just block your area and you kind of pick someone up and take them out to where they want to go, displacement. It was a lot of, no, man-on-man. We're pulling our guard. We're pulling our tackle. A lot of counter, a lot of power. It was man-on-man blocking destruction from USC. They were the more physical outfit yesterday running the football. How nice is that to hear if you're a USC fan? You were the more physical team and won a game in the Big Ten on the road. A year ago, I think you would have traded a lot of things to be in that position, to hear that sentence said out loud and to have it be true. Jaden Maiava did not have his best day at the office, but he did enough to win. Was good enough on the ground, made the throws when he had to make the throws, and I think that's all you're asking here for USC, and that's a big mark of progress. You would like to see them be a little bit more in line with what their potential says they could be overall as a football team. But when you can win a game ugly, welcome to the Big Ten, baby. Welcome to the Big Ten in the month of November. To win a game in the cold on the road when you're a West Coast team, I don't know that we're dismissing all the previous narratives about USC and just putting them to bed, but I do think you're turning the volume down. With this win, plus the Michigan win you have in your back pocket, with that ground performance. Also, a reminder, this is not USC's starting running back ahead of this season. Like, King Miller is a former walk-on, and good for him, man. And if he's not I think he's a former walk-on, but if he's still a walk-on, Lincoln Riley put my guy on scholarship. So the main point here, that's growth from USC. That is growth. As much as you're talking about the physical toughness for them, I was impressed by the mental toughness for USC. Like, Nebraska early on, it kind of felt like they might not run away with this game, but it felt like they were in control of this game. And USC, again, did not have their fastball offensively, just kept taking swings, just kept showing up, just kept battling, and found a way in the fourth quarter to get it done. Big touchdown, go for 2, little trickeration, little misdirection from one Lincoln Riley and King Miller. Find a way, man. Find a way. That's what you're going to need here down the stretch for USC. Again, we keep going back to this. I don't know if this is the year for USC to make the college football playoff, but if it is going to happen, you're going to have more games like this where ideally you couple that mental and physical toughness with a better showing offensively and more down the field for what you need. Also, check this out. USC won a close game. How many times did we sit here during the offseason and say, USC, this many games where they were leading in the fourth quarter and they blew it? It's like, nope, they found a way in the fourth quarter to win a one-score game. Growth, progress, all those things, which I don't mean to be that guy, but that's what this year was all about. This year wasn't about making the college football playoff. So if you do, you're ahead of schedule. This year was about progress and keeping that top recruiting class intact. USC continues to put notches on the belt towards doing that over the course of this season. So USC, you have it all at your fingertips. Go make the dance, dude. It'd be my take if I'm a USC fan. Go make the dance. Why can't you? If you're going to have that physical toughness, if you're going to be able to have a guy at quarterback in Jaden Maiava who can meet the moment the way he did yesterday, more power to you. Now, for Nebraska, it's a little bit tough for me to sit here and have a massively definitive take for you on your football team when Dylan Raiola goes out in the third quarter. And you scored 14 points with him in the game. Without him, you got a young cat in TJ Lateef who looked like he was maybe a little bit green, which is fair. Scored 3 points. Here's my biggest takeaway, though, from this game from Nebraska. As much as USC didn't have that extra gear offensively in this game, I still feel like the difference makers for USC, or the potential to have difference makers for USC, was on the perimeter for them. USC had more of those difference maker kind of guys on their roster than Nebraska did. Now, this isn't me saying that Nebraska is worlds behind USC from a roster perspective. That's not what I'm saying. What I'm saying is the Jacoby Lanes, even though he didn't have a massive game yesterday, the Mekhi Lemons, those kind of guys at USC is, I think, the ambition for Nebraska when it comes to what they're going to have here in the future. And you got a couple of them. I'm not saying Nebraska's poor by any stretch of the imagination when it comes to roster talent, but as I was watching that thing finish up, and I know it came down to a fourth down where like Emmett Johnson loses his footing. It's kind of a fluky way to lose the football game. Probably the story of your life if you're a Nebraska fan over the course of the last 5 years. This is why the Matt Rule extension was so important, because it's great to lock him up and to keep him going to Penn State. It's all well and good. Matt Rule signs that extension at Nebraska, I have to believe, with the guarantee of, hey, we're going to fund your roster at the level you need to run it at, Matt Rule. Like you've proven now with the way you've won so far at Nebraska, if you are going to stay here, we'll give you what you need. I think is essentially the conversation that went down. So the future for Nebraska, I think, is a world where you acquire more difference makers, where you have more on your roster to make the difference in a close game where it's gross weather and neither side really has it. That is, I think, the future at Nebraska, and that is why the Matt Rule extension was so crucial, because it comes with the guarantee of, hey, we're going to make sure you have what you need to go get those guys. So, again, you could have won that game if you're in Nebraska. I understand the Dylan Raiola part of it's tough, but at the end of the day, it is what it is. Move forward and go and finish the year 9-3, which I think for Nebraska fans would be a phenomenal season. I don't want to speak out of turn, but I think you'd be happy with that, given where this team is at and given the fact you got Matt Rule here coming back for the foreseeable future. All right? Appreciate y'all. Love y'all. Make sure you're subscribed. College football, nothing but. We're going to keep this party rolling. We will see y'all next time.